What does it mean to be human? For nearly 400 years, our answer to that question has rested on a seemingly stable foundation, the clear, categorical distinction between us and machines. We are the living, the conscious, the intelligent. Machines are the lifeless, the determined, the mechanical. Our entire modern vocabulary of self, agency, creativity, consciousness, freedom, was built upon this foundational split. But what happens when that foundation suddenly cracks? When the line between human and machine, a line we thought was carved in stone, begins to blur and then vanish entirely? This is not a slow philosophical erosion. This is a rupture, and it's happening right now, in our lifetimes, through the advent of artificial intelligence. As philosopher Tobias Rees argues, we are witnessing the end of a 400-year-old epoch of human self-understanding. AI is releasing us from the conceptual scaffold we've used to define ourselves, leaving us, quite literally, in the open. Welcome to Future Vision Talks. I'm Jordan. Today we embark on a deep philosophical journey into the heart of this rupture. We will explore how AI is not just a new technology, but a philosophical event that forces us to re-ask the most profound questions about intelligence, consciousness, ethics, and the future of the human mind itself. This is the story of why the age of AI is, fundamentally, the age of philosophy. The first and most immediate casualty of the AI revolution is the cherished idea of human exceptionalism. We have long believed that our form of intelligence was not just different, but superior, the sole shining beacon of reason in a world of mechanistic processes. AI shatters this illusion, revealing that intelligence is not a single peak, but a vast, varied landscape. There's a telling analogy that captures our historical blind spot. Imagine a pelican insisting that it is the only creature that truly knows how to fly. After all, it has wings, it soars, it dives. The hummingbirds hover? Not real flight. The albatrosses glide? A mere imitation. We would find this absurd. And yet, this is precisely what we do when we insist that human intelligence is the only real intelligence. For decades, we've been discovering that intelligence is not our exclusive domain. Bacteria make complex decisions. Octopuses solve puzzles with remarkable creativity. Earth systems and even the spiral arms of galaxies exhibit forms of complex, adaptive problem-solving. We are not the sole entry in the ledger of intelligence. We are one entry in a long and diverse series, and AI is the newest and perhaps most disruptive addition to that list. So, if intelligence is pluralistic, what are its common pillars? Contemporary thought suggests a baseline:
learning from experience, the ability to adapt behavior based on new information; logical understanding, the capacity to process information and identify patterns and rules; abstraction and generalization, the power to apply learned concepts to navigate novel, unforeseen situations. By this definition, advanced AI systems are undeniably intelligent. They learn from vast datasets. They identify logical structures invisible to the human eye, and they form abstractions that allow them to perform tasks they were never explicitly programmed to do. They can discover new moves in the ancient game of Go, unravel the fiendishly complex puzzle of protein folding, and model the behavior of entire global climate systems. This doesn't mean AI is smarter in all ways, nor does it mean human intelligence is obsolete. The real opportunity lies in recognizing the differences as complementary. AI operates on scales, both micro and macro, that are beyond human logical comprehension. It can process information at a speed and volume we cannot fathom, discovering patterns in the noise of data where we see nothing. Human smartness, however, has dimensions AI currently lacks. It is inextricably linked to our need to live a human life. We navigate the external world through our rich internal worlds, our emotions, our biographies, our sense of self. We are struck by insights, moved by beauty, and guided by a need for meaning. As philosopher Naif al-Rodin notes, emotions, a sense of time, narrative, and autobiographical memory are critical components of sentience, qualities that are, for now, limited in AI systems. The future, then, is not a competition, but a partnership. As Rees poetically suggests, it's about finding the incredible beauty in the overlap and the difference between our intelligence and that of AI. If the debate about intelligence is disruptive, the next question is truly foundational. Can a machine be conscious? Does the whirring of a server farm ever give rise to a subjective experience, an inner light, a what it is like to be that system? This question forces us to confront the deepest mysteries of our own minds. For decades, the benchmark for machine intelligence was the Turing test. If a human cannot distinguish between a machine and another human in conversation, the machine has passed. But with AIs that can chat fluently on virtually any topic, this test has become a narrow and insufficient measure. Passing the Turing test is about mimicry, not about proving the existence of an inner world. As one analysis of the AI future notes, a system telling you it's conscious is not proof, any more than a person telling you they are conscious is absolute proof. This is the classic philosophical problem of other minds, now extended to machines. To untangle this, we must dive into the philosophy of mind. A prominent view among professional philosophers is physicalism, the idea that everything that has causal power in the world, including our thoughts and feelings, is fundamentally physical. If you are a physicalist, you believe that the human brain, for all its wonders, is a profoundly complex machine operating according to the laws of physics. From this perspective, there is no magical, non-physical soul stuff. Consciousness is an emergent property of a specific kind of physical system. This leads to a radical conclusion. If consciousness arises from the physical organization of the brain, then it is in principle possible for a different physical system, one made of silicon and electricity rather than carbon and biochemistry, to also give rise to consciousness. As one philosopher writes, if we define a machine as any physical system that processes information, follows deterministic or probabilistic rules, and produces outputs based on inputs, then under physicalism, the human brain is just a very complex machine. And if this machine can become conscious, in principle, so can other machines.
This idea is formalized in the theory of functionalism. Functionalism argues that mental states are defined by their functional role, by what they do, not by the specific stuff they're made of. Pain, for example, is not defined by the firing of specific C fibers in a human nervous system. It is defined by its function. It causes a desire to withdraw, it leads to learning to avoid the source, it focuses attention. An octopus, which lacks C fibers, can still be in a state of pain because its nervous system plays a similar functional role. By extension, if an AI system could be organized in a way that it realizes the same functional roles, if it can learn from experience of harm, report on damage, and prioritize its own repair, then a functionalist would argue it is, in a meaningful sense, in a pain state. Of course, this doesn't solve what philosopher David Chalmers calls the hard problem of consciousness. Why should any physical process, whether in a brain or a computer, be accompanied by subjective experience at all? We simply don't know. The debate is fierce and unresolved, but AI makes this abstract problem terrifyingly practical. If we one day build a system that not only acts as if it is conscious, but also possesses the neurological correlates we associate with consciousness in humans, a sense of time, narrative, emotion, and agency, the ethical and philosophical implications would be staggering. Would such an entity have rights? How would we hold it accountable? We would be forced to treat it as an agent, as Professor Al Rodin suggests, fundamentally challenging its status as mere property. While we debate whether AI can have an inner world, there's no debate about its power to illuminate our own. AI is becoming two powerful things: an oracle of immense knowledge and a mirror of unprecedented self-reflection. The power of AI as an intellectual partner is already staggering. One Princeton historian described feeding a 900-page PDF of his recondite course materials on the history of attention into an AI tool. Within minutes, it generated a 32-minute podcast where synthetic hosts discussed the material with genuine insight, even drawing clever connections between Kantian theories of the sublime and a Jean-Claude Van Damme truck ad. His grading? Straight A work. This is the oracle function. We can now hold sustained, tailored conversations on any topic, from agnotology to zoo semiotics, with a system that has achieved PhD-level competence across them all. It can help us write books in real time, responsive to our questions and tuned to the spirit of our inquiry. The making of a book, once the labor of years, is becoming a matter of well-designed prompts. The question is shifting from can we write such books to do we want to read them? Perhaps even more profound is AI's potential as a mirror. Imagine an on-device AI, one that lives only on your personal devices with no connection to the internet, that has access to all your data, your emails, messages, documents, and photos. This AI could make you visible to yourself in a way no human interlocutor ever could. It could show you the patterns of thought and behavior that have come to define you, patterns that you were too close to see yourself. It could help you understand how you form relationships, why you get stuck in certain emotional loops, and where your creative energies truly lie. Philosophically, this is a monumental development. It transforms you into an object of thought to which you can relate and on which you can work. This work of the self on the self is the core of what Greek philosophers called melete and Roman philosophers called meditatio. An AI capable of this would be a philosopher's dream, offering a path to self-knowledge free from the biases and conversational narcissism of human interaction. On a societal level, this is giving rise to what some thinkers call Mind 2, the collective mind. Thought is no longer generated solely from solo insights. It is increasingly the end product of a shared brain, a hybrid partnership of human thought and machine learning. In a Mind 2 world, every idea, song, or book can be rewritten, revised, and rethought by this collective intelligence. This challenges foundational Western assumptions like Descartes' "I think, therefore I am." The new reality might be, "I think, therefore I am," but I think with the assistance of neural networks. The celebrated individual mind, the hero of our historical narrative, is now joining with the collective, accessed intelligence. As AI becomes more integrated into the fabric of our society, it moves from being a subject of philosophical inquiry to an active participant in philosophical decision-making. It is forcing us to codify our ethics and reimagine our social contracts in real time. The classic philosophical trolley problem has escaped the classroom and is now a real-world engineering challenge for developers of self-driving cars. Faced with an unavoidable accident, should the car swerve to hit one person to save 5? Should it prioritize the lives of its occupants over pedestrians? These are no longer abstract musings. They are programming decisions that automakers are being forced to make. Unlike a human driver who makes a split-second instinctual decision, an AI must act based on a predefined set of ethical rules. In these moments, inaction itself is a decision with moral consequences. As one commentator notes, this means companies like Tesla and General Motors are, perhaps unexpectedly, in the business of ethics. The problem is that there is no universal ethical algorithm. Different ethical frameworks, utilitarianism, deontology, virtue ethics, would prescribe different actions in the same scenario. Whose morality do we encode? This dilemma scales from the road to the battlefield, where the debate over autonomous weapons systems rages. Can an AI be entrusted with a decision to take human life? The genie of autonomous decision-making is out of the bottle, and the most profound limitation of AI may not be its technical ability, but our own inability to provide it with a clear, consistent, and universally acceptable moral code. The economic implications are equally transformative. The potential for AI to automate a significant portion of current work could lead to what some call a white-collar bloodshed,
challenging the very link between labor and livelihood that underpins modern society. This disruption forces us to consider radical new social models such as a universal basic income, or UBI, funded by the massive productivity gains of AI. The goal would be to eliminate systemic poverty and free human potential for more creative and meaningful pursuits. The fundamental question shifts from what is my job to what is my purpose in a post-work world. Amidst this change, philosopher Naif al-Rodan argues for a focus on fundamental human dignity needs. He defines dignity holistically through 9 needs: reason, security, human rights, transparency, justice, accountability, opportunity, innovation, and inclusiveness. The trajectory of AI must be steered to reinforce, not endanger, these needs. This means actively fighting the biases embedded in algorithms that can amplify discrimination, protecting privacy from intrusive surveillance, and ensuring that the benefits of AI are distributed inclusively. The goal of AI governance should be to ensure that this powerful technology serves human dignity for all at all times.
We began with the idea of a rupture, the collapse of a 400-year-old understanding of what it means to be human. We've seen how AI defies the old categories, challenging our monopoly on intelligence, forcing us to confront the mystery of consciousness, acting as both an oracle and a mirror for our own minds, and demanding that we build a new ethical and social framework for a world we are only beginning to imagine. It can be a disorienting, even frightening place to be. But as we've explored, this rupture is not an end. It is a beginning. It is an invitation. The easy questions, the what and how, are increasingly being answered by machines. This elevates the most profoundly human questions to a new level of importance: the why. The questions of value, of meaning, of justice, and of beauty. This is why many thinkers are now declaring that the age of AI is, in fact, the age of philosophy. The most practical skill in a world of ubiquitous AI may not be coding, but critical thinking. Not data analysis, but ethical reasoning. Not prompt engineering, but wisdom cultivation. The future will belong not to those who can compete with AI, but to those who can collaborate with it, who can harness its unique form of intelligence to augment our own, and who can guide its development with a deep and abiding commitment to human values. The old envelope is closed. A new one, blank and full of potential, lies before us. It is waiting for us to write it. And the first words we write will be the oldest questions of all, asked with a new urgency and a new hope. Thank you for watching and for being a part of this essential conversation. This is Jordan for Future Vision Talks.